There are two additional concerns that people have about gig working. The first is that we might see the emergence of very, very powerful companies who then have a kind of monopolistic position. And, I'm not obsessed with Uber, but the kind of Uberization of other jobs. And so one of the things that we heard in our visits to people around the country was that people with a business model who said that their business model was being undercut by people moving to this gig working basis. So for example, we were at one hearing and we heard about a removals firm, and the guy who ran the removals firm, he employed people, he paid into their pensions, this is what he'd always done. He was now competing with the removal firm down the road that was pretending that the men who worked for him, I guess it was men mainly, were self-employed. And I would say that was erroneous self-employment, but they were claiming and getting away with the idea they were self-employed. And
so I think it's important to look at the other side of that too, which is with a lot of the independent work and the gig economy work, even in its modern forms, there's usually a very large group of happy users and consumers of these services. Whether it's a car ride sharing services or any of these task-oriented gig economy work, quite often that's servicing a need that was otherwise either too expensively served with other traditional mechanisms or not served at all. So we've seen examples where services now pop up in places where the traditional versions of that didn't go to, whether it's places where taxis never used to go to before or would prefer to show up, poor neighborhoods, whether it's in the kind of places where you couldn't find accommodation.
I think this is exactly the point. These new technologies, sharing, gig work, offer enormous opportunities. And not just in terms of improving the quality of service, but in terms of giving people flexibility and potentially disintermediating so that actually the people who provide these services can own the platform which they use. So we could see, I think, the rise of mutuals and cooperatives and new business models based on the fact that you don't need a headquarters and all the bureaucracy that goes with it. You can just have a platform and an algorithm, and you can start to enjoy the economies of scale that come with that.